There has been a huge leak. That's right. You've probably heard of the massive Google leak that happened quite a while ago, and we're just now really kind of getting a lot more info about it. And you'll hear everything from the sky is falling to Google has been doing this, Google hasn't been doing, Google's been lying to us, Google has, fill in the blank, whatever. But there's a lot of interesting insights into it, and a lot of different people will say a lot of different things concerning those leaks that have come about. But I have sifted through the data, well, sort of. I have looked through different articles, I've checked out a whole bunch of different things, and I've sifted through some of that data and kind of seen what it's talking about and kind of seen what people are really discussing on it. And there seems to continually be a few things that continue to come up. So I'm going to give you 5 key takeaways from the massive Google leak. And some people are saying, SEO is dead. SEO has already been dead, but now it's even more dead. Or, now Microsoft has all of Google's secrets because this was leaked out on GitHub, and you'll hear, everything from it's horrible to like, see, we told you so, or somewhere in the middle. And I want to try to kind of remain level-headed, but really I want to kind of give 5 key takeaways of what I have found as I've been looking through and seeing and kind of reacting to what people have been saying. So one of the big key things that you want to do is something that we've talked about before, is that you want to have quality content and put some effort into it. So what does that mean? Well, when it comes to quality content, you want to make sure that it's relevant to your audience, that it actually matters, that it tells them something interesting and new. So whether you're talking about SEO, whether you're talking about financial planning, whether you're talking about personal finance, or going to the gym, or whatever it is that you're doing, you want to make sure that your content is quality and that it actually tells them something interesting and new. Not necessarily new, but that it tells them from your perspective, which we'll get to in just a moment, but that you want to also make sure that there's good engagement to it. So you want to make sure that they're staying on the page, whether it's a blog, whether it's a video, whether it's a post. You want to make sure that your video, that your blog, that whatever content that you're creating has good engagement and that it tells them something that is relevant to them. So which brings us to our second one, which is topical authority. Now, you remember I talked about EEAT, which is how Google kind of looks at everything, and a lot of different articles will talk about that. But really, this kind of backs up that you do need to have topical authority. In other words, you need to have your experience, you need to have expertise, you need to have authority, and you need to be able to know what it is that you're talking about and making sure that you're the authority on that, or have someone link to that authority. And so we'll talk about that in just a moment, but you want to make sure that your authority and that your perspective is through your content, your video, your blog. So people will say, oh, that's why you don't want to use ChatGPT or AI or whatever it is. And it's totally fine to use that. But just like everybody says, and you got to think about it, AI isn't walking down the street and doesn't understand certain things like you do. So whereas you may be able to write a blog article or a video or an outline or content or whatever it is, you need to make sure that your unique perspective is given in that article, blog, video, whatever it is, because you want to make sure that it is unique to you and also gives your experience and your authority and your expertise. So if you have been a financial planner for many years, if you have been a coach, if you have been a teacher, if you have been whatever, fill in the blank, you want to make sure that your experience and your authority comes through in that. So you want to make sure that not only are you getting good quality content, but also that you're having really good authority and making sure that it's there in that your perspective is there in that content. The third thing that I found is that you want to have regular content updates, and that's kind of obvious, right? You don't want to have if you're looking at a blog article or you're looking at a video or something, most likely you're wanting to see what is brand new, right? You're wanting the new phone, you're wanting the new stuff, you're wanting regular content updates. Now, in some instances, old content is fine, right? Like you want to find out like history, right? You want to find out, well, something what happened a while ago or whatever, but sometimes having a new perspective on that or hearing a fresh content update about that thing is really important. So that's why you want to have regular content updates. So you don't want to go too long having content drought. So you want to make sure that your videos, you want to make sure that your blogs, you want to make sure that your content, whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's on social media, whether it's on your Google business profile, whatever it is, you want to make sure that it's regularly updated. And that is really important. Whether getting testimonials, one of the great things to do is to get testimonials on your Google business profile, and to also make sure that you're regularly responding back to those. So a lot of times what I'll tell my clients is that if you have a lot of backlog of clients and you're setting up your Google business profile, don't ask them all to send you a review all at once, right? So if you have 20, if you have 20 clients that can leave you a review, don't ask all 20 of them to just, bum rush you and do all 20 at once. Have them try to get maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 a week for the next few weeks over a month, and respond to each and every single one of them. Google is going to see this. So that's part of a regular content update, right? You want to make sure that you are regularly updating your content concerning your testimonials. Make sure you're updating your YouTube. Make sure that you're posting. Make sure that you're doing all that. You want to make sure that you have regular content update, right? Because what is the old mantra? Content is king. And you want to make sure that it's quality, and you want to make sure that it's authoritative, and you want to make sure that it's regular. Now, on site, on your website, you want to make sure that you have a good user experience. Some people call this UX design. Some people call this layout flow, whatever you want to call it, but you want to make sure that it's easily navigable. And you want to make sure that not only is it easily navigable, hope that's a real word, for your user, but also for Google, right? Because really what you're doing is that you want to make sure that you're not just doing it for Google. You don't want to write to a bot. You don't want to write to a computer. You want to write to your ideal client, to your customer, to your visitors. You want to make sure, but you also want to make sure that that your header, that your home, your services, your about, your contact page, you want to make sure that that is easily navigationable. You want to make sure that it's easy to understand. So if you have your home, your services, you don't want to throw kind of random words in there. You want to be pretty standard in what you do. So if you have different services, if you have an about page, if you have a contact page, if you have venues, whatever it is that you do, packages, whatever it is, you want to make sure that it's very clear on your website, and that people understand that, and also that Google understands it as well, because you want to make sure that you have a good user experience. You want to make sure that you're taking them on a customer journey, that you're telling a story. And I've talked about that many times in a lot of my videos, so check those out, about how we talk about a customer journey, how we talk about telling your story. And you want to make sure that in your header that it's very clear, so that they know where they need to go. So not only are you telling them what you do, not only are you telling them the benefit and how you can help them, but also you want to let them know where they're going on the website. So that's very important. The last thing is that kind of goes in with that is link management. So if you're a local business specifically, although it works for everything, but you want to make sure that you have proper links. You want to make sure not only in your website that you have links, because Google wants to see, oh, okay, these aren't a whole bunch of just disconnected pages. These are actually pages that tell a story. So if you're taking them from this page to this page to this page, you want to make sure that they connect to let Google know that, hey, these pages, that this website actually makes sense and goes together, that it's not just kind of all over the place, but that they actually do something and that they actually matter and go places. So those are going to be your top 5 takeaways that you've gotten. So really when it comes down to it is that you want to make sure that your website, that your service, that your business, that your online presence is honestly uniquely you. Now you can use resources, right? If someone's writing when someone's writing a research paper, I used to write research papers. I didn't just think of something and just start writing it, right? That doesn't make any sense. How am I going to research something in the past? How am I going to research this topic if I don't do some research? How am I going to write on it if I don't do some research? And that's totally fine. You want to use a tool that can help you research better, write better, but you still want to make sure that it's uniquely you. So that doesn't matter if it's on your website. It doesn't matter if it's your videos, your blogs, your social media presence, Google business profile. You want to make sure that it is uniquely you. So yes, use an outline. In fact, I'll be honest with you, you've probably seen me look off a couple of times. I'm using an outline to make sure that this video stays on track and that I don't start talking to you about, Star Wars or, Apex Legends or, this really fantastic novel that I'm reading. In fact, actually, hold on, I got to stay on track. right? You got to make sure that you stay on track. You got to make sure that it's uniquely used. So that means if you got to tell a joke, that means that if you got to put in some funky music, whatever it is, you want to make sure that your content is uniquely used so that people know that, hey, this is Roger, this is fill in the blank. So remember, those 5 key takeaways is that you want to be regular in your content. You want to make sure that it's authoritative. You want to make sure that you regularly update it. You also want to make sure that it's quality and that you internally and externally link to your website, as well as also make sure that you have a good UX, so have a good user experience on there to make sure that it makes sense that people are going on your website and they know where to go. I hope that you found this interesting. I hope that you found this helpful. If you have any questions, you have any comments, leave them down below. I would love to hear. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more about me, you can also in the description check out my website where I have a couple free goodies to help you with your email marketing or looking through your website. I would love to chat with you on that, but leave a comment, subscribe. I hope that you found this interesting, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you next time. Even though I won't see you, you'll see me because of the whole screen thing, and you could be watching this 2 years from now, or who knows, but I look forward to seeing you in one of my other videos.